Yo, what's going on? It's your man Ricky Dawn. And yesterday night, my wife and I we went to go see The Fire Inside, which is the true story of Claressa Shields, the amazing boxer, uh, two-time Olympian, five division champion, stuff like that. And this story was pretty endeared to me because of two reasons. First off, she's from Michigan. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Secondly, specifically, she's from Flint, Michigan, and I went to college at Baker College in Flint. So I know a little bit more than the average person that might review the movie. I'm from her state, and I actually went to college and got kicked out of college in her hometown. So I got a little bit more of a personal attachment to the situation. But it starts off with her being pretty young, not really socializing or being very verbal. And she goes into a gym, and the coach sees something in her and decides to go against himself and give her the opportunity to box, despite the fact he doesn't really coach girls, right? She soon becomes a prospect and is invited to represent our country in, I think, qualifiers or something to that effect. She does pretty well, and she, kind of goes up to the next tier where she steps into a bigger arena and she faces off against Savannah Marshall. And despite the loss, she's still invited to China because her score is pretty good. She gets to China and she shows out. She wants to fight Savannah Marshall. However, because Savannah loses to a young lady from Russia, Savannah Marshall is pretty much knocked out, and Claressa can't avenge that loss at that time against Savannah Marshall. But she goes on to kick some butt and beat the young lady for Russia. She returns home to Flint, and it's like nothing really changed. And it was so inspiring at this point because sometimes in life you get to this point where you feel like nothing's happening, but you can't see the changes happening under the surface, and you can't see how your impact is impacting other people. I've been there. I'll look at my video count, like, wow, it's only this many views, or I'll look at my subscribers and I'm like, yo, where's the impact? But there's no way to quantify how you're impacting other people, and most people are like me. When I'm impacted, I still don't say nothing. You know what I mean? So I can be impacted by somebody and they'll never know. And I'm like, man, that's got to be it. But I know for a fact that's what it is for Claressa because you got to think about everything she did. She was still very, very young when she won her first Olympic medal. I want to say 17. And, she's coming from Flint. So you got to imagine that that's impactful for that particular space and beyond. All right. We even found that out later in the film because the coach who coached Claressa kind of pointed out that another young lady came into the gym saying she wanted to be like Claressa. So that's the impact right there. So the movie does stop just short of her going back to the Olympics for the second time where she wins another gold medal. And it doesn't show that. I thought that was kind of cool. I was hoping that at the end of the movie they didn't give you all the things that happened because they kind of catch you up on everything that's took place since that moment where the movie ends. Again, it ends on her way to prepare for the second Olympics. I thought that they should have just kind of left it there and just make the screen go black and then come back with a sequel where you kind of follow up. But I know how unrealistic that is. When you create a movie of this magnitude, you don't really know how it's going to do. So you got to kind of put all your eggs in one basket and just kind of cross your fingers. So I got that, but it would have been real dope to see her kind of come back and reprise that role and, show the next chapter of her life. But anyway, how did I feel about the movie? I thought it was dope. I would probably give it more like a 8.6. I thought it was very inspirational. I am a big fan of Claressa Shields, and it's kind of cool to see her maturation process, how she goes from this very humble young lady to, what she is today. She's extremely confident, undefeated. I mean, you just name it, she's that. And, I'm so happy with her. We're happy with her and for her because seeing her when I remember seeing her when she was younger, and I was like, oh my god. Because when you're from Michigan, you know what a Claressa Shields looks like. Like, you know what she is. Like, I remember watching a documentary about her, and I looked at her one time. I said, oh, hell no. This is going to be bad for somebody. I'm like, that's a nut right there, bro. Like, she ain't had no makeup on. her teeth was teething, and I said, yo, that's a real fighter, bro. I'm like, yo, gender or no gender, like that's a fighter. I remember girls like her growing up, and they had like this superhuman strength, and they didn't look like girly girls. I'm like, see, and that's why you can't judge a book by its cover or by its gender, because I'm telling you, I know Claressa Shields. I grew up with one. Her name was Amani Woods. She was stronger than all the guys. I'm like, yep, that's what that is. And watching this film made me want to kind of go back and backtrack and figure out more about Claressa and just kind of understand her story and where all that passion and stuff like that came from. She did allude to her being molested at the age of 5, and I said, yo, that's sick, man. Who could molest a 5-year-old girl? That's disgusting, bro. And not that alone, but for 6 months, like what the fuck? And the thing about it is, the guy is still out there. I'm like, yo, Claressa, you need to kind of take one for the team and just go ahead and report that name real quick. But she did say he's in jail, so we all good. And I hope he's getting molested. But the point is, watching her kind of grow up and go from this little, nuck, that's what I'm gonna call her, I'm sorry. And then she turns into, and I remember everything. I remember her putting in veneers because her teeth was messed up and all that. And I'm like, yo, I said, I know who she is. And I was like, I hope she doesn't change, because I know what happens, especially in the industry. They see someone like that that's raw, and they try to mold it into the standard. And I'm like, man, please don't change, Cliff, because that's what makes you special. Like, your teeth, your muscles, your hair. Not, I'm like, that's you. And you can't inspire people unless you're comfortable being yourself. If you want to be somebody else, then somebody else can do that better than you. So just be yourself, if nothing else. And I would say for the most part, she's done that. Yeah, she had to do the veneers. Yeah, she had to wear dresses, but that's small stuff comparatively speaking. That's small stuff. And I can say that I'm very happy with her. I think as of today, she's represented Michigan very well. She's absolutely stunning. I never thought I would say that when I saw that first little girl, but she's grown into her looks. She's grown into her persona. And it's something about Flint, man. Can we talk about it for just 2 seconds? Like, Floyd Mayweather is from Flint. She's from Flint. I'm like, yo, what's up with what's going on with Flint? Like, something's going on with Flint. If I'm a coach or a recruiter, I'm going to Flint and I'm just digging and I'm finding somebody, because apparently they have undefeated champions there. I mean, more than Flint. They got more than Flint and Flint. They got undefeated champions out there. Seriously. And that's all I want to say. Great movie. I love the actress that played Claressa. You know what? I got to take a pause, because there was a young lady in the film that looked exactly like Claressa. And I want to say she didn't have a big role at all. I think she played like a family member. I said that has to be a person that is directly related to Claressa Shields. And perhaps she was just too young and she probably didn't have any acting or actress experience. And that's why they didn't, choose her as Claressa. But I said to myself, hey, y'all should have slowed this whole train down a little bit, because that little girl, I don't know her name. If you see the film and you agree, you'll see her. I said, now that is Claressa Shields. That was my first critique. Like, I was like, I don't know if the actress that plays Claressa is a good Claressa. Now, I was wrong. I was wrong. She did an amazing job. She just didn't look like Claressa to me. And that was a little bit of an issue for me. I was like, that just doesn't look like Claressa to me. Like, the girl that plays Claressa came across as more of like a dainty, beauty queen type deal. But then she proved me wrong. So I will say that she had some something tough about her, and it changed my whole perception. But I knew how I felt when I saw the commercial, like the ad. I said, that doesn't look like Claressa. But because it's Claressa, I'll still check it out. But by the time I left the theater, I said, yo, she did a great job. Now, I don't know if she did a great job as Claressa, but I said that is a strong actress, and I can see why they said, look, she probably doesn't look that much like Claressa, but she's a strong actress, guys, ladies. Let's just give it a shot. And she did a heck of a job. She was tough. She was way tougher than I thought. You know what I'm saying? And she communicated that very well. But going back to the young lady in the movie, she looked identical to Claressa Shields. And again, she was just a background person. She had little braids. I'm like, yo, that's Claressa Shields. I'm like, yo, is that her sister? And, maybe she just kind of put her sister in the film to add some credibility to. I said, yo, that is Claressa. I'm like, yo, that is a kid Claressa Shields. But it looked like she might have been too young, and of course probably lacked that experience to play that role. But by the time the film was over, I said, yo, whoever, the lady who played Claressa, I said, yo, this is not going to be her final role or her defining role, but I think that, it's something that she might have took up or taken up just to get some experience of her belt. Because I haven't seen this lady. I don't know who she is. But I said, yo, she's pretty good. She's a very strong talent. She was able to really get into character very well. I loved all that. That's just my honest opinion. That's my honest opinion on that. But I would give it an 8.4. And I just want to do just oh yeah, I can't do this. I can't end this without showing a lot of love to both the trainer who trained Claressa Shields and the actor who portrayed the trainer. And I do apologize for not knowing all the names of the people. But the point is, the guy who portrayed Claressa Shields' trainer, he's been in several movies, and he did an amazing job. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. And I want to give a quick shout out to the trainer who actually trained Claressa Shields, because guys like him, they kind of get left behind. According to the end of the movie, they say that he's still in Flint. He's trained over 700 kids. And this is what I love about people like him. Like, he's not perfect, I can tell. They showed him drinking a lot. Every time you saw him, he was in some kind of bar. They didn't harp on it, but you kind of picked it up that he's a drinker and stuff like that. But the fact that you have men and women out there who kind of sacrifice themselves to help others is such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing. So I just want to give both those people, both the actor and the actual person, I want to say his name is Jason Crutchfield, the actual person. Shout out to him, man, because she went on and did great things. And he's been training that young lady since she was a youngin'. And I really appreciate that Claressa Shields told this story and included him in such a dramatic fashion, because he needs it. He deserves it. And I said to my wife when we left on the way home, I said, this is the biggest commercial for Jason Crutchfield that you can possibly imagine or want. Because if I'm the father of a young girl or a young man who's aspiring to be a boxer and I'm in the Michigan area, I'm seeking him out because he has something. He has passion. At one point, he even allowed Claressa to move into his house because she got kicked out. And, that's another story. I was cringing at the parenting, man. And I'm very thankful that Claressa did clear that up a little bit. She said her mother wasn't a bad mother. The film kind of makes you feel like, mom was going through a lot and was dealing with a lot, was kind of a busybody. And, quite frankly, her mother was no different from anybody else. She probably didn't have a lot of resources, didn't have a lot of help, and she got through the best she could. And she, props to her. She did give birth and raise a champion. And of course, Claressa Shields' father spent a lot of time in jail during her youthful years, so that's a whole other discussion as well. But overall, man, shout out to the actual family of Claressa. Shout out to Claressa. Shout out to everybody who had a part in the film. It's so easy to just run your mouth from a screen, but to have lived that life and to have shot that movie is something that I can't do. So I'm going to always end with respect. I have an opinion, but my opinion doesn't matter when you really look at it from a broader perspective. So shout out to everybody involved. And I would recommend going to check it out. And that's pretty much that, man. Thank you for checking me out. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.